we're going to be getting into 45 to natural. Okay? So let's flip to the images that you guys have. There's 3 different pictures, and it says 45 to natural. So go ahead and just look at these images and tell me what it is that you see that is kind of similar throughout these techniques. What are you noticing about the effect?
The volume in the back.
The volume in the back, beautiful. So we're creating this kind of fullness through here. What else do you notice?
The angle of the stack.
So it has kind of like this stacking effect. Okay, what else?
The angle.
And it has this angle, right, that's going from shorter to longer. And of course the angle is happening in the back. Okay? So generally what we're going to see from this 45 to natural technique is we're going to see the stacking kind of effect. That's definitely a good benefit word that our guests will say as they're describing the techniques that they would like. All right? You'll also see this short to long. Okay? So let's talk about the technique in terms of just its pure form. So currently you guys know what kind of graduation. What is the form of graduation that you guys worked with in A1?
Natural grad.
Natural grad. Tell me about that technique. Tell me about how you create natural graduation. Let's go into a review for that. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and... So how do I start with this natural grad? Start with a one line, beautiful. So I put in my one line through here. And what else would I do? What's my next step?
And then you're gonna subsection in the back so that
Okay.
you can.
So we're going to put in our subsections. So we're going to have 1 and 2 isolated, 3 and 4 isolated, and 5 and 6 isolated. We want to tell ourselves this is a different form of elevation than this is. And our sections are denoting change like we talked about, right? And it's not a change in technique as much as it is a change in head shape, right? Here we're dealing with this kind of vertical round. Here it's more of a horizontal round, right? All right, so once I get my one length then in 1 and 2, what is my next step? Yes, good. What kind of subsections do I use in this comb elevation? Slightly diagonal, whatever my design is, depending on how diagonal I want my one length to be, that's kind of how my sections are, right? So whatever I carve out in the interior is reflected in the exterior. So if I want this kind of shape in the perimeter, then I want to have this kind of shape in the interior. Is that a concept you guys are really grasping onto? Because it's going to follow you through. Whatever you carve out in the interior, you're going to get in the exterior, especially when you're holding the hair T to the section. Yes. You would be more diagonal, right? Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question about the angle. If you're doing a one length, are you cutting in that angle first?
Well, and we're going to be starting with our one length only in 1 and 2, because then we get into the natural grad and the rest. But yeah, your perimeter would be also reflecting that. But we don't go through and necessarily cut the entire perimeter, that's not necessary, but to put the perimeter in 1 and 2 it would be. And then we start in 3 and 4 with our technique. Does that make sense? Is that what we're rolling with? Is that clarification? So we wouldn't throw in a whole one length. We would just do our 1 and 2 and then roll into our comb elevation through the top. Okay? So we start taking our comb elevation sections and kind of like 3 and 4. All right? And then we're going to be working up. As we work up, taking parallel sections that are how large? About half of an inch. Okay? Good. Half of an inch.